Welcome back to Train Tuesday. I'm your host, Jim Wiggin. And man, is it just me, or does it seem hard to believe that we are at the week of the grand holidays? I mean, we've got Christmas, we've got Boxing Day. What's Boxing Day, you ask? Boxing Day is the day that you open up all the boxes of all the cool Athearn stuff and all the other cool train stuff you got for your layout. So hopefully you guys get to celebrate that holiday. Let's see who's joining us today. I've got Delta 9, we got Tom, we got Brad, Darren, Derek Glass is in the house, Tim Peters all the way from Kansas, Bradley, Rick from South Carolina, Terry LaFrance, he says running late. Well, you'll see why. Mr. Joel Ashcroft, he says, greetings, bring on the eggnog and nachos. That's a combination. I'm not sure if that would hold up in the household, but hey, you be you. We got Bob, we got John, we got Jay Cure, we got Forrest, Jeff from Ohio. This is a pretty good lineup. I'm glad to see that. Yeah, we had a little bit of a technical difficulty in the beginning, but we got it all ironed out. We got some great stuff to show you. We're talking Roundhouse today, Roundhouse products. We've got GP40-2s and tank cars. Now, this is the perfect timing because, you know, I know a lot of you guys out there, you've got some seriously nice railroads, very prototypically minded. They look great. You have some operating sessions maybe. Hopefully a lot of you guys that have been kind of stuck indoors and kind of sheltered in place type thing, hopefully we can get to some operations as we go into 2022. But, you know, we can't forget the younger modelers, and myself included. That's how I got started. And a lot of the guys that we're seeing on YouTube and out there even getting published, they started with something simple. And so we're going to talk about Roundhouse and why it's a great setup for somebody that's a younger modeler, a little bit more economical. And it's also a good setup for when we start going back to shows and you want to start showing the models off to the general public. These models are perfect for that. So let's see who else is joining us today. I got Lewis, Mac from North Carolina. We got Owens from Iowa. We got Frederick. And let's see, I've got Bradley. And Jay Kerr's like, I'm not the taco truck on the corner of Hollywood. And man, I got to get up. I got to hook up with Jay Kerr at some point. This guy knows his tacos. We got Shannon. We got KC. We got Christopher, John, Kevin, Rico. He's coming in from the Netherlands. Oh, welcome. Thank you for joining us today. So like I said, we're going to talk Roundhouse. So let's do what we always do. Let's get in the festive mood. Let's get comfortable. Let's put the hobby knife down. Let's grab the beverage of our choice, and let's get started and talk about Roundhouse. What are we talking about today? Well, the first ones we're going to talk about are the GP40-2s. So let's see what we've got here. The GP40-2. I mean, this is a locomotive that today has hung on. It came out in the early 70s. And it was part of the program that EMD did, part of their Dash 2 series. Of course, the GP40 had been out in the previous decade, but the Dash 2 brought about a new way of a modular type of wiring with the locomotives, basically, essentially making it much easier for maintenance crews to work on the locomotives. There were some other improvements too, but we won't go into those details right now. What I want to show you is the GP40-2s that we have available until the end of December. You have till Friday, the 31st, to place any pre-orders on the models I'm about to show you. Now, this model that I'm showing here, this is an actual model that we've had in the past. This was from the October 2018 announcement. So you might have missed out on these, but this gives you a representation of what the model looks like. So starting out, we've got the Burlington Northern. And, you know, a rather simple scheme, but a really nice looking scheme. This is the scheme that Burlington Northern had basically from the day that they started and they had their first corporate image. A lot of these stayed in this paint scheme right up until BNSF. And it's a really simple, like I said, simple paint scheme, but it's a really nice looking paint scheme. The Cascade green along with the white and the black, really nice looking locomotive. And like I said, this one is great for 1970s into the 1980s. And if you've got a younger modeler that wants to model anywhere from the Midwest to the Pacific Northwest, this is a perfect model for you. Now, one thing I want to go through here real quick. This locomotive, like I said, works great, 70s, 80s. And, you know, another thing, we've said it here before, these are great for operations. If you don't want to use your nicely detailed Genesis locomotive, you can certainly have one of these stand in. So the next one up that we are offering, something a little bit more modern. This is the CSX YN3, or Dark Future, as some rail fans call it. This is perfect for you guys that are modeling the 2000s. Now, we had to do Rio Grande. Rio Grande is actually one of our more popular roads. We sell a lot of Rio Grande. And again, maybe you're in a modular club. There are some HO modular clubs out there. These are perfect. You can build up a consist really quickly and not have to worry about all those small details getting lost or broken. And it's not usually at the show that you have to worry about. It's usually the transport. Transporting of these highly detailed locomotives aren't always the easiest. Now, this is a paint scheme that's indicative of the 1970s. And one thing, another thing to mention is we're offering everything that you see here in 3 different road numbers. So you can build up a consist of these really quickly. All right, coming up next is the Kansas City Southern. This is one that, again, this has been highly requested. So for you Kansas City Southern guys, you're going to want to go ahead and order one of these. These models here are based on the 1980s paint scheme, and we all know that pretty soon this is going to be a fallen flag. So for you modelers out there that are enjoying the Kansas City Southern, enjoy it while you can, and maybe pick up a few of these models as they appeared in the 1980s. Now, again, 3 different road numbers. And one thing I want to mention too is everything that I'm showing you today has a special suggested retail price. That's $116.99. These are DCC ready. So they come out of the package, just DC, hook them up to your standard transformer. But if you want to put them on your DCC layout, they can be upgraded to DCC rather easily. Now, we're offering them at a special rate. Now, your hobby shop where you purchase these, their prices may be slightly lower. But we do have a suggested retail price that we have to put out on all of our media and flyers and things of that nature. So check your local hobby shop. Your prices will differ from what we're showing here. Now, I know a lot of you guys are probably thinking this was going to come up, Norfolk Southern. And again, another one of those roads that does really well. A lot of requests for Norfolk Southern. This is a 2000s era. This is right after they started doing the horsehead paint scheme and the white front. Really nice looking paint scheme. It's, when they're clean, they look really great. And if you've got a small switching layout, this would be perfect for that. Whether you've just got a small 1 foot by 8 foot switching layout like we talked about last week, or you've got a larger layout and you need something for branch line operations or industrial operations, it's a perfect locomotive for that. Again, 3 different road numbers, and this is based on the paint scheme for the 2000s. Last but not least, we've got the United States Army. Now, this is cool. Yes, the United States Army does have its own locomotives. This is a paint scheme based on our researchers found in 2008 on up. So it's a rather recent paint scheme. And yeah, they really do use these for various tasks. But it's something a little bit different. And maybe you've got a munitions set up on your layout, or maybe you want one. Maybe you want to justify it. Here you go. Another thing too is it makes for a really interesting setup if you've got a public display or a modular display at a show. These are always really capture the attention of the audience. So some of the things, and we never really talk about these with the Roundhouse locomotives, there really are a good value for the money. Some of the things that come standard with the Roundhouse GP40-2s, and I'll read through some of these just so you know. Okay, so there's see-through cab windows, so you know, no different than what you'd see in our other locomotives. The handrails are already applied. They're made out of the material so that they don't break easily. In the old days, the Athearn stanchions and handrails, they were wire, which was great, but if you weren't real careful, they would bend. These are a little bit more forgiving. This also includes a 5-pole motor. It's got precision flywheels with a multi-link drive. What does that mean? It means that you're going to get a nice quality, quiet, strong pulling locomotive for very little the cost that you would get for much more expensive locomotives. These are all coming DCC ready. They're going to have a 21-pin NEM connector to them, so real easy to install DCC. They're going to have front and rear headlights. They're LED. And then the other thing we don't really talk about much, but it's worth bringing up, nickel-plated wheels. Why is that a big deal? Well, the nickel-plated wheels, we found that over time, they do a much better job of staying clean, better contact with the track, just overall much better performing material than some of the older wheel sets we had back in the blue box days. Now you can run this on a recommended radius of about 22, but you can run it on an 18-inch radius, which is pretty tight, but that brings up another comment. You can also run one of these under your tree. So maybe get some sectional track with a road bed already built into it, grab one of these locomotives and a few of your favorite Roundhouse cars, and now you've got a tree complete because you've got a train running under it. And personally, I don't consider my Christmas tree ready until it's got a train under it. So some of the things that to think about. So again, that special offer is on all these locomotives. They're all DCC ready, and they're available for pre-order until December 31st. So be sure to talk to your hobby dealer before the end of the month. So before I go on to the end here, to the next car, I'm just going to go through the comments, because remember, guys, I don't see your comments because I'm going through screens. I want to see what you guys are saying out there. All right. What about Penn Central? Not this time. Not this time. Now, one of the things that we saw it on Facebook this past week, a lot of you guys had some great suggestions on road names. Anytime you have a great suggestion on a road name, just go to athearn.com, go to the product suggestion email, and shoot us an email. Let us know, what would you like to see in the next run? So if you want to see Penn Central, shoot us an email. Let us know. We are watching those emails. And as I said on Facebook, a lot of the roads that you're seeing this month were requested by you guys. Here's a good question. Are these the upgraded motors, or are they the older blue box style can motors? Yeah, these are not the old blue box ones. These are totally different, and these are so much better. And just to kind of give you a case in point, I still have some of my blue box models. I'm sure a lot of you do too. And it's amazing. They keep running. They're old, to coin a car term, they're almost like an old flathead V8. They just keep running. But they're not quite as quiet, and you can definitely see a difference. So if you were to put this beside a blue box, you definitely see a difference. These motors are completely different, much quieter. And with the flywheels, not all of those older blue box models had the flywheels. That was a rather recent thing. This thing just pulls so much better. It's quiet. It's amazing how well this operates, especially in DCC. I've used one on my home layout just as a quick little operations-based unit. And in fact, at RC Fest, we had a Roundhouse DC version we used on the little switching layout. And all weekend long, we had zero issues with it. It's a great setup. But great question, and thank you for asking. Kevin likes the Army one. Good to hear. Terry wants to chime in, so they're pretty new to the Army fleet. Yeah, according to what the developer said, it looks like about 2008 on plus. Yeah, I think they are too. They are pretty cool. That's my problem. What road do you model? All of them. Kevin's liking the NS. All right. So Anthony, on this run, they're not going to have DCC and sound. We have done that in the past. However, we felt it was more important for you guys because I also know that some of you guys will use these as a starting point for, say, a kit bash. Maybe you want to go all out on a detailed locomotive and you don't really want to start with a Genesis or a Ready to Roll, whereas a Roundhouse makes a good starting point. And this kind of gives you the option to put in the DCC decoder of your choice. So this run here, they're just going to be strictly DC with the capability of taking a decoder. No, they are not. They come off with a screw. On the bottom, there's screws where the coupler pockets are. Once those couplers are taken out, you can just simply slide that off. So not, I know what you're talking about. The old blue box ones had the kind of tongs to them, if you will, and these don't have that. All right. Well, let's go on to the next item, which is tank cars, and this is also a Roundhouse. And these are pretty cool. This is actually one of my favorite models way back when they were in the blue box era. But boy, have they changed quite a bit. So here's an example from 2018. This was the April announcement of 2018. And it kind of gives you an idea of what these guys look like. Now, they may be Roundhouse, but check this out. I'm going to zoom in here so you can kind of see. We've got the metal handrails. You got the metal ladder. It's a lot of good detail for a car like this. You've got the placards. Now, again, this is from a previous release. This is from April of 2018. So these may be sold out in your area. But this is what we're showing in new road names. But look at that. Now, this did come back from the blue box era. And I remember assembling quite a few of these because I was always fascinated with these tank cars. I really like this era of tank car. But I remember building these. And, you know, when you're 8 years old, 7 years old, your manual dexterity is not as good as it is when you're an adult. So some of those handrails never went back on the models. It took a lot of effort, and they never looked that good. But here's the key point I want to show you guys. A lot of people say, well, this is just a modern version of a blue box. You're almost correct. They are based on the blue box models, but I don't know if you guys remember, but when I was buying my blue box tank cars back in the late 80s, early 90s, there was a seam here. There were some seams that you don't see anymore. And here's a big thing right here. I'm going to zoom in here. We used to use pad printing. Look how sharp this is. And I mean, this is a picture that's only 72 DPI. So that's pretty clear, pretty sharp when you zoom in on it. Plus, you've got all your warning data. You can actually read the build date. It's built 5 of 55. The original blue boxes did not have that sharp of lettering or painting. They really didn't. And another thing is they came with plastic wheel sets, and they came with the old horn hook couplers. And we've all been there. We all had to replace those horn hook couplers. Maybe you had the adapter car like I did before you could save up money for the more scale-looking knuckle couplers. Well, now you don't have to worry about that. They come with the metal wheels, you can see here, and they do roll so much better. And we include the McHenry couplers. Now, I realize the McHenry couplers are not for everybody, but here's the good news. You don't have to worry about that transition car anymore with one knuckle coupler on one end and a horn hook on the other end. So you can always update them, but you don't have to do it right away because these work fine with all knuckle couplers available nowadays. So what roads are we doing? Well, this is Roundhouse. We like to have a little bit of fun with Roundhouse. And again, you know, maybe you want this under your tree at Christmas time. What better car to have than a Baker's Chocolate tank car? And we can use this for a number of things. You can use it for a bakery spur. Maybe you've got a bakery as one of your industries. You can justify this car here. Maybe your club is running something around the holidays. You have an open house or something of that nature. You want to bring in some neat cars like this that the general public will gravitate to. And this is a great little car for that. Now, these tank cars, we're offering them in a couple of different ways. We're offering them in 2 different road numbers in singles. So that's 2 single cars with 2 different road numbers. We're also offering them in a 3-pack. Now the 3-pack, again, these are MSRP. These are suggested retail prices. The price at your dealer may differ, may be lower. Individually, they're $37.99. You buy the 3-pack though, they're $94.99. So do the math quickly and you'll see, hey, you know what? I really like these tank cars. I'm going to go ahead and get the 3-pack. And all the ones that I'm going to show you today, they're available as a 3-pack. So here's our Baker's Chocolate single, 2 different road numbers available. And here's a 3-pack. I think this would make a great Christmas train. Coming up next, we have this GATX, kind of an older paint scheme, 1950s. Really cool paint scheme, green and yellow, shows up really well. Again, Roundhouse, we take a little bit of liberties. Was there a prototype for it? Yes. Is it an exact match? Not always. But these are great entry-level cars. And, in a pinch, if you having an operating session and you realize, hey, I don't have any tank cars for this industry I just brought online last week, now you've got an excuse. So once again, 2 singles, 2 different road numbers, and you can also get the 3-pack and get a little bit of savings on the 3-pack. Here we've got the Steinhall. Really cool, like late 1960s era. 2 road numbers in the singles available, as well as the 3-pack. Here's a cool one, and I don't think we ever did this one before. I couldn't find any pictures of it in our past, but liquid fertilizer. If you've got if you're modeling the Midwest and you got an FS spur, perfect. Here you go. Especially if you're doing transition era into the early diesel era. 2 singles and a 3-pack. And then we've got Union Pacific. Also available in a 3-pack. So great stuff here. I'm really excited about these. I think you're going to like them. You can order these. You've got until, like I said, Friday the 31st to go to your local dealer and talk more about these. And I'm just going to go through here and see what we've got for comments. Oh, you know what? I think I forgot one. It's actually one of the coolest ones on here. Let me see if I can bring it up. There it is. Vulcan Chemicals. So if you got a chemical industry on one of your spurs, perfect. And again, like all of them, you've got them available as 2 different singles and a 3-pack. So Friday the 31st, that is the end of pre-orders for that. So you're going to want to get involved with that. So, if you wanted to, maybe this year you missed out, the season crept up on you, like, man, I didn't get a train under the Christmas tree, or I didn't get Junior a train set up. What do I do? Well, go ahead and pre-order these. These should be available next year in time for the holidays, and you'll have a new tradition. And it's one that I enjoy every year. It's one I've been doing for over 20 years, having a tree with a train under it. So let's see who we've got here for comments, and let's see what else we've got. Kevin likes the GATX. Yeah, that's a neat one. It really is. Yep, Brad, I see your comment, and yeah, it's one of those things where McHenry is something that we procured a few years back, and rather than I don't think there's any manufacturers out there anymore. I could be wrong, but I don't think there's any manufacturers that use the old XF11 horn hook couplers. Most manufacturers, including us, use a knuckle coupler. So it's a little bit easier if you're getting into the hobby to, you can start out with these. A lot of folks with the smaller switching layouts, they don't really have as much issues with them, but if you want to change them out, you can. You certainly can. Oh, Randall says West Plains Model Railroad Club currently has a display up and running. That's cool. Randall, if it's open to the public, it's really cool. This is the best time of year to get people interested in the hobby. It really is. Let's see what else we've got here. Yes, these are 40-footers. Brad says he remembers the days of the adapter car. And sometimes we say the good old days. That wasn't quite part of the good old days. All right, so it looks like a lot of guys are really happy with these. I'm glad to hear this. And, well, here we are. Like I said, we're at pretty much the end of the year. We're in the holiday season. And, there's a lot going on here. I apologize. We didn't get a chance to do the holiday photo contest like we did last year, and I apologize for that. But we've got some great stuff going on in the background. And trust me, when you see what's going on in 2022, we got some really big news and a lot of cool stuff going on. And I think you guys are really going to enjoy it. So I'm really excited about 2022. But for right now, let me share some things with you because, hey, what's happening on Saturday? So this first picture I want to share with you guys, this was in Chicago Union Station. And I don't know about you guys, but that's my style of Christmas tree. If you look carefully, I'll zoom in on it for you in case anybody is having a hard time seeing it. But if you look carefully, look at the ornaments. There's some pretty cool ornaments here. We got Illinois Central. I think that even says Michigan Central there. That's kind of cool. We got some Milwaukee, GM&O, Mopac, Western Pacific, even Metra, Baltimore and Ohio, Rock Island. Look at that. Amtrak, Shoreline, Santa Fe. This is my style of Christmas tree. I like this. I don't know if I won't. I think I'm going to do a Christmas tree like this. Here's a cool one, Burlington route. I think a lot of us see our favorite railroads in there. Although I think a few of us Northeastern guys feel a little slighted, but that's all right. This is Chicago. These are the railroads that came into Chicago. Although New Haven didn't. Pretty cool. This was shared to us by Jared Motley. This is the son of one of our graphic artists here at Athearn and Horizon. And just a beautiful display that they've got there. I've never seen a tree like this before, but I really like it. And it's very fitting that it's at the Union Station in Chicago. Man, that tree's got to be huge. I mean, I've been to that station a number of times, and that is just, that's really cool. Brad says, no Canadian stuff either. Yeah, what's up with that, eh? All right. Nickel plate. I thought I saw nickel plate in there, Kevin. Jay says, Athearn needs to make the Burlington route and Milwaukee Road bi-level commuter cars. Jay, you got a Burlington guy here, and John's a Milwaukee guy, so who knows? All right, so what's our next picture? And thank you for Jeremy and Jared Motley for sharing that with the crew. We really appreciate it. All right. Let's see. I thought I had more pictures to show you guys. Well, we'll come back to that in a minute then. I'll look at your comments while we figure out what's going on, because I'm pretty sure there's somebody in the audience that shared a picture with us, and I want to show it to you guys. So let's see what's going on there. Yeah, no Alaska stuff. Not on this one. But see, there's a reason for you to tell the rest of your household that, you know, the Christmas tree, that's the way it should look like. Yeah, I would agree with that. All right, here we go. Where's the tech guy? You're looking at him. that should either fill you with confidence or the opposite of confidence. All right, here we go. Here's the screen. So I'm sure most of you have seen his channel. I'm sure most of you have seen his work. But Mr. Derek Glass of DG Model Works, look what he shared. Even the Derek Glass has a train under his tree. And this one, I believe, is HO. I don't see a third rail there. Zooming in, but of course it's a Norfolk Southern. That's pretty cool. And he's got it looks like a Conrail caboose on the back. So that's pretty cool too. So way to go, Derek. That's really neat. Guy, you've got a good question or comment here. He says, I want to see the reworked versions of the Streamliner. Is this old Athearn classic passenger cars need a new run with improved features? Noted. It's been a while since we've run those. So yeah, that would be a great idea. All right. So from all of us here at Athearn, we want to wish you all a very happy and safe holiday season. You know, spend some time with the family. And more importantly, if you can, try to share the hobby with someone. You know, there may be somebody younger in your family. Bring them into the layout room. Show them how much fun the hobby is. I mean, we've seen a lot of growth in the last 18 months, and we're thankful for that. And we want to continue that growth. So share the enthusiasm, share the joy. This is, you know, you've heard it before. This is the best hobby in the world. And you know what? I think I've got something here else going on. Let me minimize this. Let me check here. All right. You know what? Somebody said, where's all the Christmas decorations? Where's the stuff? Let me check. See what's going on here. I think I've got something going on, so let me switch cameras. Hey, look at that. We've got the Roundhouse GP40-2 in the lead there, and it's actually in the Burlington Northern paint scheme, just like the one we talked about. And we've got those really cool tank cars. And if you remember, a while back, we had those Christmas cabooses. So there you go. Hey, let's let this train run for a little bit, and let's take a few questions before I let you guys go out and enjoy the rest of the week. Let's see. Jay says, I got to run the promo SD80 Mac at Prairie Scale Motors in Lombard, Illinois, and I love talking to you guys. I almost slipped and said Illinois. Jay, yeah, I mean, we love that. We're looking forward to 2022 to get to actually talk to you guys again. Randall wants to say, hey, happy holidays, guys. And if you're in the West Plains area between now and the end of December, stop by and check out the club display. Yeah, definitely. This is the best time of year to check out what's going on because a lot of clubs have an open house. Let's see what else we've got here. Gary, will we get a new product announcement for Friday, 12/31? Yes, you will. Yes, you will. Friday, the 31st, 3:30. And I would love to tell you what's there, but you're going to have to wait a little bit. Ian says, I am still waiting for my CPGP9. I don't know why Ian would be so excited about Canadian Pacific. It seems like he's trying to say something. He's got a cool name. But Ian, I'm with you. There's some GP9s I'm waiting for too, from just south of you. The other Canadian province of New Hampshire is waiting for some Boston and Maine GP9s. They still should be here in January, but you're right. We are experiencing some shipping delays. Let's see. What else do we have here? Terry's sending us some holiday cheer. Oh, let's see. Do you guys intend to do a product ETA schedule like some other companies do? We are actually working on something like that, Matthew. And thank you for asking. Yeah, there's a lot of changes ahead, and they're all good changes, and they're changes that are mainly to help you guys out. We want to make sure that we're getting information to you guys, and we really do appreciate everybody out there for making this past year a big success for us. Derek over at DG Model Works says, Merry Christmas all. Yes, Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Happy Boxing Day. Let's see. I've got time for maybe one more question. We ran a little bit long because we had a late start. Absolutely. Thank you. And thank everyone for a great year. All right. So there you have it. GP40s in the Roundhouse line, the tank cars in the Roundhouse line. You have until the 31st. Also, Friday the 31st. A lot of you may have that day off. We're going to have a product spotlight of everything that's coming out in January. And don't forget, we will be at the Amherst Railroad Show in Springfield, Massachusetts, 29th and 30th of January. I will be in my home turf. I will be dragging some of the Athearn guys with me, and we're looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to seeing layouts again and talking to you, having you come to the booth and talk to us in person. We all look forward to that. And so with that, I'm going to go ahead and pull the pin on this. I will see you next week. So until next week, everybody out there, be happy, be healthy, be safe, do good things with others, and don't forget, bring somebody new into the layout. Show somebody young how much fun this hobby really is. And above everything else, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and high greens, everyone. Take care.